pretty cool to walk outside to your garden and change the color of the flower. You can actually do that with this really cool plant. It's called the hydrangea. Debbie Zeri from Spring Hill Nursery and Gardens Alive is live this morning talking about the different varieties. And Debbie, I didn't really realize there were 4 different types.
Actually, there's 23 different species.
Well, I was really wrong.
But
we're talking 4.
But you're good because there's 4 that we use in the U.S.
Okay,
so you're right.
Okay.
Now, usually when people think of hydrangea, they think of this Mophead here. This is part of a group called Hydrangea macrophylla, or big leaf hydrangea. And of course, you can see why.
Right.
And this likes to grow in partial shade. It comes in pink, blue, and white. And you can see it has these big clusters of blooms.
And that becomes a huge plant during the late summer months, right?
Yes, all through the summer it'll grow to be this nice rounded, maybe 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. Now here you have what's called a Hydrangea paniculata.
Okay.
Now this is the most cold hardy, so this will actually work up in Minnesota. All of these, by the way, do great in the Dayton area. But this one usually gets 10 to 15 feet tall. It's huge. But this little variety is one that was bred to be little. It's called Bobo. And when it's in full bloom, you can't even see the foliage. It's full of flowers.
The flowers are white?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they actually start with a little tinge of green. Now this one is a Hydrangea arborescens.
Okay.
Or
it's not bloomed yet.
No, it's called a smooth leaf hydrangea. But when it does bloom, it's got huge clusters, like 12 inches around. And this one's called Invincible because it's this huge white ball of blooms.
And this one is huge. Doesn't it get like up to 12 inches big?
The bloom does, yeah,
Okay.
but it stays as a nice rounded plant.
Okay.
Now these two, this one and also the last one called Hydrangea curcifolia or Oakleaf hydrangea, are both native to the U.S. along the East Coast, so people there know them really well. This one starts with white blooms and then it turns pink and actually deepens to a raspberry red.
Oh, wow.
And you can see by the foliage, it looks like an oak tree, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks really cool. And you have another example of how to grow hydrangeas by having it go from blue to pink or pink to blue. You could change the color. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You can be Dr. Frankenstein in your own garden. Now this is with the macrophyllas, the mopheads.
The first ones we showed you.
Yes. So it's all about aluminum in the soil. Now most soils have a degree of aluminum in them, but in order for the plant to take aluminum up, it needs acid. And aluminum is what turns the blooms blue. So if you have acidic soil, they'll be blue. If you have alkaline soil, they'll be pink. Now, if you don't happen to know what your soil is or you don't know how to change it, you see these little packets we have right in front of these vases that we sell in the Spring Hill Nursery catalog called Make It Blue or Make It Pink. It's just that simple.
Wow, there you go. And if you want more advice, you could go to our website, fox45now.com. We'll link up the Spring Hill Nursery and Gardens Alive so you can go talk to Debbie yourself.